Well, I think there were basically two moments. The first one was when I was working as a manager for KLM, and I got the opportunity to take a sabbatical leave, and then I worked for Doctors Without Borders, and I think that was a life-changing experience to do that. However, after a year, I still did decide to go back to the private sector and do what I was used to do. But then a couple of years later, I was at that time buying manager for Maxida, which is a big retail holding company in the Benelux. I found out that because I also had the responsibility of corporate social responsibility within the firm, how challenging and how inspiring it is to work with in situations where you can do good for humans and for the environment, but at the same time have profitable projects. And the win-win that comes with that is extremely inspiring, and the people that you work with are also very intrinsically motivated. And that was for me the reason to make a step and say, this is actually what I really want to do, to find those really win-win solutions, both for the economy, for the environment, and also for people. Well, I think it has quite some impact. I mean, in a positive way and in a negative way. In a positive way, you know, there are so many people that like to talk to you about your work, which is, of course, great. In a more challenging way, there's often, in my type of job, a lot of traveling required. Financially, of course, you sometimes have to take a step back as well. So, but for us, they were things that me and my husband. That was a decision that we also took together and said, you know, if this is the line of work that you want to do, then then let's go for it. And so we had to make a couple of adjustments. But the funny thing is that I might have to work, you know, I work maybe harder, but because it's so much joy, it doesn't feel as a burden at all. The environment reacted quite positively. In the beginning, they had to get used to the fact a little bit that I was now in this conservation organization. I'm coming from a background where I have to do a lot of commercial deals, and I was responsible to deliver many millions a year. So then working all of a sudden in a conservation organization, and one of my most important KPIs being to help hold deforestation, of course that gave quite some laughs as well. On, you know, Helen, what are you taking up? But by now I see that, you know, they're also becoming passionate about it, because you can just talk about it in such a passionate way. So I think they all reacted quite positively on it. Yeah, my professional life changed quite a bit. I found it surprising to see what level of expertise there is within WWF. The people that you work with, I mean, they are very, very motivated. I think that was a big difference to see. But the level of expertise is indeed quite impressive. So it also means a little bit of to your leadership style. I mean, these are the people that you can't instruct. I mean, you just have to work together and be far more coaching and just release all the potential that they have within them. And I think, you know, that is one of the things working for WWF. The big joy is to work with the people that they have. Well, I think, you know, that is my vision of my career and goals, and I think that is a good question to ask, because I let go of that a little bit. I mean, I'm very used to think in career steps. You know, the way I was working until now was always, you know, what is my next move? What will I be doing in 2 years? I have no idea at this moment. But for some reason, I really am quite confident that it will be right, and something will happen. It will be on my path. And so basically, I have not a real vision, but the vision that I do have is that it has to be in sync with the way I feel, and that it has to be, I have to feel that it's really good, and it's not as much about taking a rational career step. So basically that part I just really let go of. I think for me, what was very important to discover is what is driving you. And the year that I worked for Doctors Without Borders was extremely important in that, because apparently I was also very much driven by fear. And that sounds a little bit odd, but that year learned me that is one of my basic drivers, and that there are so many ways to handle that, and that I indeed could handle that. So I'm far more comfortable now with uncertainties, and I think maybe in these types of organizations there are perhaps more uncertainties. So it was for me quite important to discover how you can handle that. But I think it's, regardless if you take a job in sustainability or wherever, I think it's very important to understand what your drivers are and how you can handle those.